now got some doors. We start hanging doors. First door that was on the lot in the other room was for the bathroom, so I'm going to start with that one, and then don't know, probably that one there, and then so on. So camera on this side. I just checked the frame, and the hinge side of the frame was slightly out. I adjusted it, which can happen with all the plastering and everything, because bringing lots of water in, it can absorb water and move a little bit. So that's adjusted now, sand it down. Put a short nail for thickness of the door in, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, to act as a stops. Now digging door in. Now doors, lightweight doors. They always got some writing, and one of the writing tells you where the lock, goes. So lock goes on this side of the door, because they are hollow doors, so they only got a button around the perimeter and that honeycomb cardboard inside, and where the lock is, that's where they put an extra block of wood. So it's not on this side, it's on this side here, because that's marked up on the top of the door. So I don't get confused. Let me just see if you can actually see the full door. I need to go back a bit. So as I said, here's the marking on the right hand side there. So I'll turn that side towards the lock side, so I don't get confused. I'll put a little H on the top left corner of the hinge side, H for hinge. And then I can just get the door into the opening. Jig it in, a little wedge, on the floor, rise the door up to the top of the frame with a desired gap, which is about, I would say about 2.5–3 millimeters, and then this is part of the old frame in the house, so you've already got 2 hinges done. I'm going to put third hinge, so I'm going to split that in the middle to go from top of the top hinge to top of the bottom hinge. That's 5 foot, so it will be 2 foot 6, 30 inches to the top of the middle hinge. So here's the center line, and then Stanley knife. I can call it Stanley because, as you can see, it's an old Stanley 99. It's not 99E, it's a 99. It's a very old knife. And then I'm going to rest edge of the blade to the top side of the top hinge cutout and transfer that on the door. Then here I'm going to cut to the corner of the frame and the door simultaneously. So them 2 incisions correspond to each other in height. And again, bottom hinge on the top of from there, and on the top of the hinge to door with Stanley knife, so I got incision there. Now that is now all 3 hinges marked up. I'm just gonna put a little X. So once the door is off, I don't have to look for little incisions. So check that hinge side, it's nice and close to the frame, it's touching. Top is on desired gap. Then I look at the lock side, and that is pretty even gap there. But it's not enough gap because at the moment it's pushed all the way to the hinge side, so it's tight there. So I will need to reduce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably do, that is about 1.5 millimeter here. So I'll do 2.5 mil pass or 2 mil pass on the hinge side, and I'll do about 1.5 mil pass on the lock side. And that should do it. Whilst we're here at this point, so top is done, top is fine, it's nice and level. That side is plumb, it's nice and tight. I'll just take evenly all the way along on both sides, so I have my desired gap left, right. I'm going to mark up the bottom as well. Standard gap for doors in the bottom are 3/4 inch or 18 to 20 millimeters. So I can see that whatever gap I got here now at the moment, it's nice and even. So I'm just going to mark up 20 mil, just over 3/4 inch. And I'm going to do a nice parallel cut to the bottom of the door with a skill saw, circular saw, and that will keep that gap. So now this door is on. Once it comes off, I'm going to trim it all the way around, put the hinges on, and put it back on, and that should work. The easiest way to get them off, click it up, top bounces back out, and door is off. So I'm going to put it on the bench, cut the bottom first, then on the door block, cut the other sides. I have to apologise. Camera stopped working again for some reason. So I just explained. I planed off after cutting the bottom off. I planed both sides, as I said, one side 1.5 millimeter, other side 2 millimeter. Now, taking the Stanley knife, with a point, find my incision for the hinge. Place the edge of the hinge against the incision and mark around. And repeat for all 3 hinges. 2. Careful not to cut your fingers. And you've got one frame. Let me make this nice and clear, because this is exactly the same as I did. Let me see, where are we? We're here. Right. This is incision that I've done when the door was on. I went across the frame and the door at the same time. So this incision corresponds to the incision on the door. So I take a Stanley knife, I put a point right there, rest it into that little slot, put a hinge against the blade and hold it tight. So the hinge is tight, it's right there against that incision. And then with a Stanley knife, just cut around the hinge so it's all marked up. Now once it's marked up, take a chisel and chop in around the edges. Now there's a traditional way where you would use a chisel and just go like this, bang, 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 and then from this side you would clear it out, but I stopped using that and I found a way of using a little trimming router. Makes life easier. It's a little cordless trimming router, and I got little, I think it's 1/2 inch blade on it. Right, I better put this on less of zoom, and the blade is sticking down for the same thickness as the plate on the hinge. Don't know if you can see that. So freehand, I just go in and I cut around the edges or perimeter of the hinge marking here. So, oops. It's hard to do all of this when filming at the same time, to be honest. So, once it's cut, I just use chisel and just clear out the edges. And if you do that on all hinge slots, they're all going to be set exactly the same depth. Now, I got these two old ones, they might end up being slightly deeper, one on top and one on the bottom, so might need to put some packing there, but apart from that it should all be same depth. Now same thing on the door, just going to repeat now. So with the chisel, just going to mark up the perimeter. Where that door block comes really handy. Now using router is a little cheap, but I don't mind. It's really handy if you've got lightweight doors because they've got edge made out of hardboard. It's very uncomfortable to chisel that. Or if you've got a knot on the edging button, because these lightweight doors, they've got very thin button frame. If you try to chisel the knot, it just keeps bouncing all over. It's not nice and easy. It's a little cheap. I mean, you can get all the hinge jigs and everything, but I still think there's no need for that. For me, this really speeds it up enough. Just using little trimming router. Right, that's done. And I can set hinges in. Course. One of these screws goes straight through the knot, so I need to power drill that. Knocky knock. Right, that's ready now. always start with the top hinge. I always do. So line up, always on angle. It's resting on the bottom left corner. So I'm just lining up the bottom hinge, top hinge where it needs to be. Pilot little hole. I do bottom hole on the top hinge first. And then just swing it all back and do the bottom hinge. Sorry, middle hinge. I don't know what I'm talking about. It was a long day. Got up 5:30 this morning. Done about 6 hours driving. And to take Mrs. to London, to doctors. Come back. 2 o'clock, went to work, replaced a couple of windows, and then came here. So it's been a long day, so don't know what I'm talking now. Sometimes when I say top hinge, middle hinge, just mix them up. Anyway, one screw in the hinge, and then just close the door. Inspect the gaps, check it all. I might need to take a little bit off the top, just a little bit. Everything else seems to be fine. Yeah, so off the top. This side is good, it's just the hinge side, so it's going to go from about here down to nothing. Couple little passes. And that's one door swung or hanged. With a 3/4 inch gap on the bottom, 1/8 all the way around, nice and even. So it's getting, I think it's about 8 o'clock now. I'm gonna stop. I don't want to annoy neighbors too much. So this door is on, bathroom door is on. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. We'll get some door stops. It's all been sanded down. So I'm gonna pin the door stops on, set the latches in the doors, and I got 2 more doors to hang. And then I can start with arches and skirtings. We're here. It starts looking better and better every day. If you're in a position that you have to reuse doorstop, architrave, skirting, anything that's been previously fixed, and you've got some nails there, don't try to force nails down back to the surface and pull them out that way, because that will usually cause big damage on the face side. Instead, use a pliers and pull them out from the back. They all pull out and they leave the face of the trim unmarked, so you can reuse it. All doors are swung now. Got this one. One bedroom. Then the lounge. Got that bedroom there. That's done. And the bathroom. Now I'm going to start fitting latches. I'm going to show what I found the easiest and quickest way to install the latches in the doors. Regarding to the height of the door handle, there is no right or wrong. It needs to be ergonometrically comfortable. So naturally that is roughly about your hip height, but because we all vary in height, that is not set as a standard. So the best thing is, if you're just replacing one door, check the other doors around the house and set new doors the same height as the other doors, or ask the customer their preference, or if there are no specific preferences, I usually take around 38 inches, about 1 meter off the floor. So between 38 inches there, 1 meter, somewhere there. So I just set it up the same height all the way through. So if I just mark up 38, then with a square, just mark up that line around, find the center, 35 millimeters, so that's 17 and a half. That's my center point there. This is the latch I'm going to use. It's a 2.5 inch. Now, there's a bit of difference between old traditional wording and modern wording. They call it 2.5 inch latch. Now, in old days, we would measure backset, and a backset is distance between the face plate of the latch and the center of the hole. So this would be, in old measurements, 1 3/4 or 45 mm backset. In modern days, they take the overall depth of the latch as a measurement, so that's 2.5 inches or 65 mm overall. Old measurements, this would be 1 3/4 backset. Very often they would use term backset for overall, which is wrong, but you'll see that in many catalogs or online if you're buying, when you say 2.5 inches backset, and it's actually not, because backset is between the face and the center of the hole. Anyway, So, you can measure that up, that's 1.75 inches. And then mark up 1.75 inches on the face of the door there, and on the other side. And that's our spindle position. Okay. Now, this is a tubular latch. With tubular latches, you can use 25mm auger bed. You save to use 25 because the plate itself is 26mm, so that will cover the hole. And 25mm is big enough to actually accommodate this latch corner to corner. If you make a round hole, obviously, that distance there is 25mm, corner to corner. So one hole, nice and straight, 25mm, will let this latch slide in. So, just with one foot I'm holding the bottom of the door, you can put a couple of wedges. Set the point of my auger bit into center of my markings. And then just keep the drill level and straight into the door. Drill through, take the latch, set it in. Now, you can just hold it like that and mark it around, or I can get a couple of the screws. Right, there are Phillips, they're not positive drive, so let's change the bit. So I'm just gonna secure this latch plate on. Like that. Then use my Stanley knife. I can call it Stanley. It says there Stanley 99. It's one of the old ones. Use any other knife, sharp blade, and just mark up the outline of your latch plate. Once it's marked up, remove the latch, and now you can chisel this out, or you can use a little palm router and just route that bit mainly, and then you can chisel it out to the face. I'm going to do that because I'm a bit lazy. But before I use the router, I'm just going to outline that markings with the chisel. Clear out the corners and edges. because as you can see I just stand freehand, just remove the majority of material. So like that. I'm going to change from 25mm to about half inch, so from inch to about half inch, or 12-13mm auger bit. I'm going to make spindle hole from both sides. That's it. And then the latch goes in. And that is all set. Now, next step will be fitting the latch keep onto the frame. So, just going to put it on like that. That's how it's going to go on. That's how the keep goes. And I'm going to mark up the edge where the door meets this tongue of the keep. So that there is where the door edge is. And I'm going to turn it around and use that as a marking on my door frame. So let's turn the camera now to door frame. Actually, I'll go on this side. So now also we need to mark up the height. You can see where the latch protrudes. I'm going to mark up top and bottom of the latch. It's there. Then use this keep. Markings from the latch. Then I really want to show you this better, or as best I can. Let's see, camera. Just trying to adjust. Right, that's there. So if I just closer, right. Stretch and get the tools. Now another 2 screws from packaging. So we set our latch keep with that line that we made it from the edge of the door on these 2 lines here that we had from our latch. So we set it back in up about there and use these holes to set these screws in. Right, that's one, and let's do the other one. Now, with a Stanley knife or utility knife of any other manufacturer, we just carefully mark up around the edges. This is especially good when you have existing painted frame, because you don't chipping the paint further. And just mark up the center bit where the hole goes. Then you remove that. Let's reach. Now drill. Now putting back my 25mm or inch auger bit in the center of the center hole. Make sure it doesn't cut further than any of these lines of the plate. And then just drill through. Now again, you can use a router to remove most of materials, or just use a chisel. I'll use a chisel this time. So, as I showed on the door, you can use router to remove majority of material and then just clear it out with a chisel, or here you can just use a chisel. You don't need router. It's handy. It's very handy. Now that will go in like that. Now this latch has got this little black insert that will go behind, so when it's fitted in, all you see is this nice neat black hole in there rather than chopped up wood. So now for that, I'm just going to increase our little hole there to accommodate this plastic sleeve. Just marking up around it. You can use pencil because it doesn't have to be overly precise. As long as I keep away from our little screw holes, I should be fine. Then with a chisel, just square that hole up. That should fit in there nicely, and I'll keep. You can see it's snug fit. It fits in and not falling out even without screws. So then put our screws back on. And that's it. One keep done. Now it's a test time. At this point I'm not going to install any handles because I'll take all these latches out. I'm going to fit them all into all doors and take them all out and leave it for painting, and once it's all painted then I'll reassemble, just fix them back in and put the handles on. So make sure you got some screwdriver or something to go into the spindle to operate latch, otherwise you will get stuck. And like that, latch now, it's too straight here, it's hitting, so the keep is too straight because latch is hitting with a straight part of the latch, of the angle. So with a hammer, just bend that tongue slightly out, and that will allow door to swing and shut nicely. So there you go. And that's how to set latching. Now once the latch is in, I'm going to use that as a good opportunity to fit all our door stops in from the other side, because our latch now is setting this door to exact position for the door stops. Now, door stops. The door stops, I got 19 by 38 prepared, softwood. So first thing, we'll remove these nails that I set in for hanging the door, and then close the door in the latch. I love that sound. And measure up for the head door stop first. So, being 27-inch door, the frame's been set at 27 1/8, and that's what I need to tackle. I need to cut this twice. Now what I prefer to do, once I got doorstop cut in length, I chamfer two edges. To adjust this a little bit. That's it, better. It just makes finished product far more superior than if it's not chamfered, and also it makes it easier to paint if you don't have square edges. That's that. And we will set the door stop in about 1 millimeter back from the door, because this door and the frame is yet to be painted. Pardon. And we need to allow for the paint thickness, and from experience is about 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter. So I just eye it through. So don't butt it tight against the door, because that door will bind on the paintwork. Once the head is set, you can do both legs. I've got 77 5/8, both of them. Mark up and cut both legs at the same time. It doesn't have to be tight to the floor, it can always be a couple of millimeters off the floor, because you will have some floor covering that will cover that. And again, door block, I'm just looking for better surface. I'll use that as a face. And just run a door block and chamfer that sharply. Yes, it takes few seconds to do, makes a sound, and if you have to repeat that on every single door, more like that, but you do get more superior finished product. There's a little tool, looks like a block plane. It's a chamfering plane. Some people might have that. I never own that because just use a block plane. I think it's good enough. And then just make sure to maintain that little gap nice and parallel all the way between the door and doorstop. You can use little spacer, or just use your eyes. Now let me show you that. This is that gap I'm talking about. And you'll feel the door will rattle. See that rattle? That is needed. Because once it's painted, the paint thickness will actually cover that gap, and in most of these latches they have this section inside there that you can, with a flathead screwdriver, you can set the screwdriver into that little slot there and pull it into the hole, which will make the door latch tighter. So yeah, that's one of the things. Please ignore that. This is the old door frame that I've utilized here for the bathroom. There you go. One door is set. Now I'm going to just repeat the same thing on all other doors, and then I'm going to do arches, and then we can do skirtings around.